The pain started about 7 or 8 years ago, and of course at the time I had no idea what it was. I went to a physio who referred me on and upwards, and after about 7 years of intense pain, I decided that enough was enough. So it was diagnosed by Mr McMinn that I needed some sort of hip operation. I went to see him in Birmingham, and subsequent to the operation, I have to say my life was transformed immeasurably. So I asked the physio what pain level she thought I'd been on just before the operation, and she said, well, probably about 13 out of 10, because your body gets used to it and begins to accommodate it. And it got to the point where I couldn't cut my own toenails, I couldn't drive any distance without stiffening up, and had to park away from cars. It just really was quite an onerous, torturous, painful experience, and matters came to a head when I was in London at a business meeting, and unless there was something down on the ground enough or low enough, I couldn't get my socks on. And I used to do it, contort my body every which way but loose, but on this particular occasion, I just simply could not get my right sock on. So I went to a high-powered business meeting in London with my suit on, my shirt, my tie, and one sock on and one sock off. And that was when I realised enough was enough, and I went to get it done. And I have to say, I'm very, very glad I did. I work in public relations, and that's predominantly a desk-bound job, but it involves a lot of driving because we have clients in Maidenhead, in Leeds, in London, and you know, after a 4-hour journey in the car, it really was quite awkward and at times embarrassing when I'm getting out and my leg is effectively, you know, racked with pain and I've locked. So it was a condition that was evident to everybody because obviously, you know, I was walking with a pronounced limp, and when you've been a sportsman of various degree and competence all of your life, it's really quite frustrating to know that, you know, those days have gone. And the work, it didn't affect work per se because, you know, you can sit at a PC and you can still type out the words if that's what your business is, but in terms of the impact it makes on you sort of psychologically and mentally, yeah, it does drain you, and you do feel somewhat dispirited and demotivated that, you know, you wake up and you've literally had to turn in the bed, you know, in cycles because you can't actually make a full turn. But since then, I mean, everybody who sees me just can't believe that, you know, I'm back to my fighting best. I've always done the exercise, and perversely, I'm probably now at my lightest that I've been for many, many years, which, you know, is a surprise to everybody, most of all me. But it didn't necessarily affect the work, but psychologically, mentally, certainly, for it to be every day, just pain, 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 it does grind you down. Now, you know, and a lot of my contemporaries have had the same operation, and I was out with one last week, and he just said, the same as I said, you know, your life has just changed for the better. And, you know, the fact I can walk, run for a bus, play squash, do impact sport, and just basically have a better quality of life, it's absolutely fantastic. The pain levels after the operation, I have to say, I didn't have any pain after the operation. I had post-operative pain, but in terms of what pain was around the hip, I would say absolutely negligible. Relative to what I'd been in previously in terms of pain, it was just blessed relief. And obviously I followed the sort of rehabilitation procedures to the letter, and for the first, you know, 6 weeks behaved in a particular way, and subsequent to that I did everything that, you know, the holistic physio, who I think is also called Brian, told me to do. I did the swimming, I did the non-impact stuff, and subsequent to the operation, touch wood, I've not had any single occurrence of pain or discomfort, and I have been running, albeit moderately, and I started playing squash because that's an impact sport in month 13. So all in all, things have gone very much in the right direction. There are any number of people who perform hip operations, but, you know, in PR we have many definitions of it, and mine is that it isn't what you say about yourself, PR is what others say about you. So I did a lot of desk research, but I heard a lot of word of mouth recommendation about Mr McMinn from a lot of people, and I live in Cheshire, and in the gym there's almost this sort of gentleman's club where we exchange scars, and we can all see which is a Mr McMinn scar. So I went to see him in Birmingham at the centre, and with his colleague the diagnosis was prompt and accurate, and he was very thorough, detailed, sympathetic, understanding in explaining what it was I wanted and needed. and in the event I went not knowing whether I needed a full hip, half hip, or whatever the variations on the theme of hip are, but I mean I had hip resurfacing with a mid hip, I think, and that's what he said would be, you know, best for the job that needed to be doing. And subsequently I kind of guess that's been proven to be the case. I did go back obviously after the requisite time for a first checkup, and then subsequently the annual checkup, and Mr McMinn had my x-ray up on the wall, and then he turned to me and said, "Can I just say, Mr Beech, that's quite a beautiful hip." So I don't think there's any greater accolade from your surgeon to have a piece of his work be described as beautiful. So all things considered, it's been a very, very successful operation. I have no complaints whatsoever. The difference it's made to my life, my quality of life, you know, my 13-year-old son, you know, saw his dad walking there with a limp and not being able to play football with him, not being able to play tennis with him. I've started playing tennis with him, which I was pretty good at in my day, and he turned around to me and said, "You're not bad, are you, Dad?" So he's realising that, you know, his dad might have been a sportsman of some merit and some repute. So it's just great to be able to do all those things and even turn out in the dad and lads team and accredit myself very well. So even at the advanced age of 56, it's nice to be starting my exercise and my sort of physical well-being all over again.